Hey, welcome back to another ballistics gel test. Today we're going to be shooting Remington Corelokt 180 grain 30-06, the pointed soft point version. And the test rifle today is my Tikka T3X Superlight Stainless, chambered in 30-06, of course, with a 22.4 inch barrel and a Leupold VX3 HD on top. We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. So let's go ahead and shoot it. All right, we're down here at the blocks after shooting the 180 grain Corelokts out of the 30-06. I went ahead and lined them up and put the tape measure so we can look at penetration. And unfortunately, I only captured 2 bullets. I actually got the third one, but it was buried inside the table and that jacked it up. So it's not like a good comparison, so we're not gonna be looking at that one. But we did capture 2, and it looks like we got 26.25 inches and we're going to call it 27 7/8 inches of penetration on the 2 that we did capture. Let's go ahead and take a look at the velocities for those 180 grain Corelokts out of the 30-06. The high was 26.88. The low was 26.35, and the average was 2,657 feet per second. Here we're looking at those Remington Corelokt 180 grains out of the 30-06. First, we'll talk about weight retention. The overall average weight retention was 133 grains, and we got 130 and 136 grains respectively, and unfortunately, we did not recover that third bullet for an overall retained weight of 74%. Now we'll talk about expansion. Our average expanded diameter was 0.603 inches, and respectively we saw 0.631 and 0.575 inches of expansion, so fairly consistent, and we just hit the 2x expansion mark right on the nose. Now we'll talk about velocity, and velocity is where this particular load shined for whatever reason. Our high velocity was 2,688 feet per second. That is only 12 feet per second under the factory stated velocity of 2,700, so that's pretty incredible. Our low velocity was 2,635 feet per second for an average of 2,657 feet per second, and on average we were 43 feet per second low, but still really close to that factory build velocity of 2,700 feet per second. Now we'll talk about penetration, and this is something that I've seen consistently with Corelokt loads, particularly heavy for caliber Corelokt loads, is very deep penetration. Average penetration was 27 1/10 inch, and respectively we saw 27 7/8 and 26.25 inches of penetration. And I think that's largely due to the somewhat lesser expansion as compared to some other bullets. Final thoughts on the 180 grain pointed soft point Corelokt load out of the 30-06, and I qualify that pointed soft point because there is also just a soft point 180 grain 30-06 load out there as well, where it's more of a round nose. That's not what we're talking about. So what did we see? We saw about 74% weight retention, about what I've come to expect from Corelokt. We did see some expansion, but we didn't hit quite as much as I would think. We only got 2x expansion, which is the benchmark that I kind of measure medium game hunting ammo by, but I wish I would have seen a little bit more. Unfortunately, that seems to be a trend with Corelokt ammo across calibers and weights so far that I've tested, that we don't get quite as much expansion as some other kinds of ammo. But what we do get is penetration. We got about 27 inches of penetration with this ammo, and I think that's largely due to the somewhat or relative lack of expansion as compared to some other loads. Now, something interesting, we almost hit the factory stated velocity with this stuff. The high velocity was only 12 feet per second slower than what was stated on the box, which is almost unheard of. All in all, it seems like a fine hunting ammo. If your rifle likes it, if you have some and want to use it, it'll definitely do the job for you. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description. And check out my channel for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.